The first time I saw her, I was sure I was walking into trouble. The alien outpost on the distant planet Corythia was a labyrinth of steel and light, with corridors that hummed like living wires. My mission was simple: deliver supplies, gather intel, and leave before drawing unnecessary attention. Simple, but it never felt simple when she was involved. She appeared from the shadows like a streak of liquid silver, her armor glinting in the neon glow of the corridor. Her hair flowed like a halo of starlight, catching every reflection and bending it into impossible colors. And then, she looked at me. "Get your hands off me, human," she shouted, her voice sharp, almost a blade. I froze, stunned by both her beauty and the accusation. My hands weren't even near her. I raised them slowly, trying to show I meant no harm. Sorry. I didn't." But before I could finish, she shook her head, an almost imperceptible flicker of a smile brushing her lips. There was something in her eyes, a mix of warning, amusement, and something else I couldn't identify. And then, she stepped aside. "Follow me," she said, her tone now soft, almost coaxing. "Into my quarters. Quickly." The beginning. Corythia's outpost was more fortress than habitat, designed to protect its alien occupants from interstellar threats. I had seen other Elysians, tall, ethereal beings with skin that shifted colors depending on mood, but she was different. She radiated confidence, danger, and a strange warmth all at once. I followed her cautiously through winding corridors, my translator struggling to keep up with the rapid clicks and hums of her language. I didn't understand why she had called me here, nor why my pulse raced with anticipation and fear. Her quarters were surprisingly small, intimate even, illuminated by a soft, ambient glow. The walls were lined with bioluminescent panels that pulsed gently, as if alive. She gestured toward a seat. "Sit. Quickly. We don't have long." I obeyed, though every instinct screamed to ask questions. Finally, she spoke again. "Do you always wander where you shouldn't, human?" I'm here to deliver supplies and gather intel," I said. I didn't know anyone would, notice me. She raised an eyebrow, the smirk returning. "Notice you? We have always noticed humans. You think your species is small, fragile, unimportant, but your curiosity makes you dangerous." The middle. For hours, or maybe minutes, time moved strangely here. We talked. I learned her name, Lysara. She was a scout, an operative for the Corythian Collective, tasked with observing potential interstellar allies and threats. And yet, there was something personal in the way she regarded me, a recognition of my presence that I couldn't explain. "I saw your kind on the outer colonies," she said, her voice soft now, almost conspiratorial. "But humans, you are different. You feel. You hesitate. You wonder. That is rare." I laughed nervously, unsure if I was supposed to. "I guess curiosity comes with the species." She tilted her head, studying me closely. "Curiosity can save your life or end it. You will learn that soon enough." Then she moved closer, just a step. "But fear is a different matter. You resist it well." Her proximity was disorienting. The air seemed to thrum with her energy, subtle, almost imperceptible. My mind raced. Part of me wanted to retreat, to flee, but another part was entranced. She was testing me, that much was clear. "Do you always push limits?" she asked, her tone lighter now, teasing. "Sometimes," I admitted. "But I didn't think following supplies would lead me here." She laughed, a soft, melodic sound that filled the room. And then, suddenly, the mood shifted. Her eyes darkened, and she raised a hand, pressing it lightly against a control panel. The walls shifted, revealing a hidden alcove filled with Corythian artifacts, data crystals, and holographic maps. "You want to know why I called you here?" she asked. "This is why." I need someone human to understand this. Someone who can think beyond Corithian methods. I realized then that I wasn't just a delivery agent. I had become part of a test, a collaboration, perhaps even a gamble. The revelation. Hours passed as she guided me through Corithian technology. I watched in awe as she manipulated holographic maps, displayed star systems with impossible detail, and explained missions humans couldn't even dream of. But her greatest secret wasn't technology, it was emotion. Lysara had a vulnerability few Elysians would ever show. Beneath the polished armor, beneath the confident facade, she bore weight: loss, responsibility, isolation. And somehow, I had earned her trust enough to witness it. "You are brave," she said quietly, sitting opposite me now, her hand brushing the edge of a glowing data crystal. "Not many humans would endure this long. Most would run, scream, or panic. I don't know why I stayed," I admitted. "I just felt like I had to understand you. And maybe myself too." She smiled faintly, the kind of smile that seemed to light the room. "Understanding is dangerous, human. It can destroy you or bind you." Suddenly, alarms blared. Corithian security protocols had detected a breach in the outer corridors. My heart leapt into my throat. "They will investigate," she said, rising. "And if they find you here alone, they will assume the worst." I wanted to protest, to say I could leave, but she reached out, holding my arm gently. "Stay. Trust me. I will protect you." The conflict. The breach turned out to be a small team of Corithian enforcers, alerted to unusual energy readings. They stormed the corridor, weapons raised. Lysara moved with lethal grace, activating her armor's shielding systems, and I found myself caught in a whirlwind of light, motion, and adrenaline. "You survive this," she whispered as we ducked behind a crystalline wall. "Do not falter, human. You must think quickly." I nodded, adrenaline sharpening my senses. Using the knowledge she had imparted, I helped reroute the energy flows, creating a diversion that allowed us to slip past the enforcers undetected. Every move was coordinated, every breath measured. I was no longer just a visitor, I was a participant in her world, learning the rhythm of Corithian tactics. When the chaos subsided, we were alone again in her quarters, both of us breathing hard, adrenaline still coursing. She looked at me, her eyes gleaming with both relief and something deeper, respect, maybe even admiration. "You are not like other humans," she said quietly. "And that makes you invaluable." The resolution. In the quiet aftermath, I finally allowed myself to look at her without fear or suspicion. Lysara's hand brushed mine lightly, a gesture that said more than words ever could. I realized that the initial anger, the warning, the shout, it had never been genuine. It had been a test, a way to measure my reactions, my courage, and my integrity. "You stayed," she said softly. "You endured. And in doing so, you became more than a human. You became part of this world, this mission, this moment." I didn't mean to. I trailed off. "You didn't have to mean it," she said, smiling now, a warmth in her eyes that humans rarely saw in each other, let alone across species. Sometimes, actions speak louder than intentions. We spent the rest of the cycle together, discussing strategies, sharing insights, and slowly, the tension that had marked our first encounter melted into something else: mutual respect, trust, and perhaps a spark of connection neither of us fully understood.